first off, I think a lot of Damon Stoudemire guys. I really do. I think I said that here a couple days ago in a press conference. But I followed his head coaching career at Pacific and don't know him well, but if interacted with him on the road and in our profession, like there's just some good guys out there that are really good at what they do. He's going to get Georgia Tech rolling, and they got some guys like, freshmen. It takes time, but I thought it was noticeable the talent of Bay and Dongo, and that's his first game. Like they're going to end up having a good year because they got some guys, and he can really coach, and he's in year one, but he'll get Georgia Tech going. That was fun tonight. I told the guys in the locker room that was really fun there in the second half. I thought they did some things in the first half to just kind of stagnate the game and frustrate us a little bit, and I thought we handled it good. I did. I mean, they were playing way back and way off of us. We had a scrimmage against Indiana State early in the preseason, and they kind of played us like that, and we struggled with it, and we kind of addressed it after that, and that's why those closed-door scrimmages are so valuable. And I thought we were much more prepared, even though we didn't know that's exactly how they were going to play us. We were much prepared for how to deal with it because we had been through that once this year and dealt with it already. And so I thought we handled it pretty well. And some of those early wide-open shots don't go in, and sometimes when you get guarded like that, it can kind of snowball. It didn't tonight. And then all of a sudden the lid comes off the basket, and we made some shots. But I thought that run in the second half was fun. It was good to see our defense fuel our running game and sustain itself for the first time. That was what was noticeable to me. If I start singling guys out, I'll talk about the whole roster, so I won't do that tonight. But obviously Victor's shooting, you guys all thought I was lying about it, when I was talking about how well he's been shooting the ball. I think people really saw it for the first time tonight, not just that he can make one, but he's pretty effective back there. Certainly, I know you're going to ask me a lot of questions about Aziz, but it's going to take us some time to assimilate him offensively and some other stuff. But, man, I thought his presence defensively was very noticeable tonight. And I thought it impacted the game. And then I thought it was good to see C.J. Frederick make some plays there, in the second half to get us going too.
The energy when he came in, and I know you've talked about kind of tempering expectations, but it's very obvious this fan base has gotten behind him. Was it pretty cool to see when you checked him in, the recognition that he got, and then he follows it up with a block in the lob?
Yeah, I appreciate so much how and he does, and I was actually listening to him. I got to walk in after my radio, and it's really neat. He did a great job up here talking. But I appreciate so much how people here in our community have supported him through this, and how I know we're going to continue to support Jameel. So it's meant a lot to me. It's meant a lot to both of them. And it was neat for him to have that moment. And you could sense the energy, right, building up to it. My biggest concern, and these are the champagne problems, right? My biggest concern once he got cleared was that we would make it too much about Aziz tonight, because our team is so excited. He's so excited. Our fan base, I wanted to make sure we made it about Cincinnati basketball too. And I thought our team and him, they handled it beautifully. But our fans, our support, it was awesome, guys. It meant a lot to our program. It meant a lot to him. It meant a lot to me.
You've mentioned Day Thomas and Jizzle James a lot throughout this offseason. Just 2 turnovers between the two tonight, 17 points, 7 assists. How much has their play fueled you guys through this 5-game winning streak to start the season?
Yeah, I thought, and gosh, the two, how it is with point guards, the 2 turnovers, I can think of them pretty clearly right now, so you remember those. But I thought they were great. I thought Day to start the second half, among other guys, but Day and John defensively to start the second half set a tone. Odie, those 3 of them set a tone. And I thought they were, in the first half, I thought Jizzle's minutes really mattered. I thought we were at our best when he was in the game in the first half. And I thought that was Jizzle's best game as a Bearcat, best game in college so far. He's got a lot of great games ahead of him, but I thought he settled us down. He made some really nice plays in ball screens. He was solid defensively. I was pretty proud of him tonight. He did a nice job.
What's it like as a coach watching a guy like CJ get hot like that, score on consecutive possessions? And do you remember Fifth Third Arena being that loud and into the game as that kind of sequence was?
Yeah, again, that was fun. Our guys we talked about in the locker room after. It was fun. The second half was fun, guys, especially that first 12 minutes or 10 minutes. It was fun. Comparisons, I don't know, it's pretty loud here for the crosstown shootout last year. We came back in the second half, even though we couldn't get over the hump. But it's this place when it's electric is as good as anywhere in the country. I've said it all along. We have to do our part to give people a reason to be like that, and we need this place to be like that all the time. That'll lift us, and hopefully we can give people a reason to be like that consistently. So yeah, that was really neat. But we're going to need a lot of that this year, and hopefully we'll give you a reason to keep doing it.
Go ahead.
Wes, defense in the paint, perimeter shooting. Does a night like tonight give you as a coach a glimpse of your potential this year?
I think I said it to the guys in the locker room. I try not to play mind games with kids, right, or young people. I try to just be very honest with them. And the first thing that I said to them is that should make you feel like you have a chance to be a really good basketball team because we put some things together tonight. And so I think, number one, get some confidence for that. And then number two, let's realize that we have a long way to go and we have a lot of room to improve. Let's enjoy this till midnight. And then when we wake up tomorrow, let's double down because we can get even better and better and better. And with what's ahead of us, we know there's going to be some really, really tough days and tough roads, and we're going to be competing against the best programs in the country. So I think let's understand and get some confidence in the things we did well, and then let's double down on the things that we've been working on to continue to improve.
Seamus goes ball screen with Aziz for the lob, and then shortly after goes ball screen, and they go under, and he gets the open three. Is that the type of impact that Aziz can make because teams have to ultimately make a decision on what they're going to do with him, whether they're going to leave the shooter open or leave him open?
Yes, I mean I haven't even had a chance to really study the stat sheet, but Aziz, he's 3 for 4, 8 points. 9 rebounds is pretty good in 21 minutes, but he's 3 for 4 with 8 points, and that doesn't even begin to tell you what he probably did on offensive possessions, like how many baskets he accounted for, because of his role presence or because he's a really smart player and does his job well. And again, we're going to find ways to get him the ball more as we go. But yes, he has if you're trying to kind of make people understand it, Chad, which is what I think you're trying to say, is like his impact on a possession is so much greater than a stat sheet. We learned that when we coached against him. So I understand being on the other side of it for sure.
When you look at the two big lineup defensively with Vic and Aziz out there and Odie as well, those guys, all three had the best defensive ratings on the team tonight. What kind of chemistry have you seen in practice?
What defensive rate are you looking at?
Per 100 possessions, they had the best
Just
number.
points per possession?
Yeah.
Okay, like lineup ratings.
Yeah, like Bandago, 57.1 points per 100 possessions allowed.
Okay, I was just curious. We might have to hire you to do some analytics. You're getting that information quicker than I am with my staff.
But what kind of chemistry have those guys shown just in the ability to pass off on the defensive end, the ability to just kind of trust each other that somebody's going to be there to meet somebody at the rim if they're allowed to kind of roam a little bit more?
Listen, guys, you guys start talking points per possession and all that kind of stuff with statistics. You guys are way ahead of the curve with anybody else in the media I've seen around basketball or college basketball. So we're doing good in the media here locally at Cincinnati. I'm impressed with that. I think when you have a front court with versatility physically, and all three of those guys are physically versatile. They can guard different positions, and then they have athleticism and length, and then they're all experienced players. So like Odie, Vic, and Aziz are all experienced. They're not young. Like you looked at Ndogo tonight for Georgia Tech. He's going to be a really good player. Like I was pretty impressed with him during the game, but he's a freshman. So those three that on our team right now in the front court that played tonight, they have all the ability, but they also have experience. So yeah, that's gonna really. It doesn't surprise me that our efficiency defensively with them in the game is at its best because like when you put three guys with length, versatility, instincts, experience out there, it's going to impact possessions for sure.
I'm
Sunday,
not
you
going to
had-
point out efficiency, but I'll point out turnovers. You guys forced 19. Is that kind of in line with having the front court available to, pressure on the outside as well?
Yeah, it's like, this isn't rocket science. It's very common sense, right? When you have rim protection, you have guys down there that can make guys miss or come block, or then it gives the guys on the perimeter the ability to pressure harder and have confidence behind, that they're going to have rotations behind them. And everybody in basketball knows that. That's why it's really hard in recruiting to get multiple guys that have that ability. We're fortunate to have those three, and then we got another one right now in Jamil Reynolds. We have another guy there, so that's important for the way that we're trying to play on both offense and defense.
Sunday, you mentioned you had sleep issues, and I assume those got a little bit better come Monday. How about you and Aziz, and how much better will you sleep once you have Jamil? Because there's just so many weapons out there tonight that you saw.
Yeah, well, coaches don't sleep during the year. I'm not alone. Every Division I coach in the country doesn't sleep as much during the season. But I am pleased, Scott. Like, I'm pleased that he's out there. I'm pleased that he's not fighting this process. And I'm sure when you guys asked him a question, it's not just what he said. Genuinely, you can see how difficult it is when he answers the question. Like, it was heartbreaking as a coach. And again, we have another guy in the same situation, in Jamil Reynolds. And if we're going to use that analogy, I'll never sleep good during the season, but if we're going to use the analogy of sleeping good, like, I'm not sleeping good yet because we still got Jamil Reynolds, and I'm so pleased that Aziz is with us now and he's out there on the court, and I'm so pleased we're past that hurdle. But my heart still breaks for Jamil Reynolds, and we're not going to forget about that. We're not. As I told Jamil today, we're not going anywhere. We're going to fight for him.
The 30-2 run there in the second half, obviously it's an 8-point game at the half. What was Georgia Tech doing defensively that allowed you guys to get going and really open things up there in the second half?
Well, I think, again, they packed it in the first half, and we had some really good defensive possessions in the first half, but some of them ended in shot clock violations, so you don't get a chance to run, right? And then some of them we didn't finish the possession because we have a silly foul, or we don't box out and finish the possession with the defensive rebound, so you don't get to run. I thought in the second half we finished defensive possessions and they were live ball stops, meaning we get a turnover or we get a defensive rebound, and it fueled our running game. And then I have to look at the tape, but I had a feeling that as the second half kept going, our depth was a factor in the game. It was harder for them to keep getting back, and you saw the quality of shot in transition was really high. Dunks, wide open threes, things like that.
Two more. I don't know if rewarding would be the right word, so by all means correct me if the verbiage is wrong on this, but how rewarding was it for you to be able to go over and tap Aziz on the arm and say, go in there, after everything that you all been through over the last, weeks or months?
Guys, it's the stuff in coaching that's fun, moments like that for sure. I'm not somebody that's unaware of that or doesn't. I have soft spots for all that. It was pretty neat, and as you guys said here earlier, to hear the reception for him, because there has been that support, he's felt that, but to hear it and feel it tonight was really special. And I think Aziz and our team would tell you it was special, and they'd tell you keep doing it because they liked it, so keep coming out here and cheering for us because it does impact us.
I think I saw you jumped up to 35 in Ken Palm after tonight, and you're. Hold on.
We got more analytical guys in the media in Cincinnati than anywhere in the country. I kind of like it. That's good.
I think you're still 7th in the Big 12 at 35. How important is it to play?
You're talking about the overall Ken Palm rating?
Yeah, overall Ken Palm.
I just sit here and think about my college coach, Roy Williams, and if you'd asked him a question in a press conference about Ken Palm, he wouldn't know what Ken Palm was. He was a pretty damn good coach. So I do know what Ken Palm is. We do look at it. But, it's too early. If you want to know the truth, and you guys know I'm pretty wide open, the truth about Ken Palm is, and Mike Roberts was so good with this, he said don't look at it until you played 9 or 10 games because there's not enough data yet. So where we are, where everybody else is, I don't know. I'll look at it as we get closer to the end of non-conference, and it gives us a better data. But as you said, and I think this was your point, Chad, you get to a high place in some kind of national ranking, and you look up and it ain't high in the Big 12. And I think that shows you what's ahead. And that's why that I do want kids to enjoy moments and have fun. They work really hard. But when we wake up tomorrow, we're not sitting here going, we're a good team or anything. We got a lot of work to do for where we're going.
The point being, playing a team like Georgia Tech, high major talent, how important is that as you go through the non-conference, as you prepare for the Big 12?
Really important. It's really important to, these games against the top tier teams. It's really important because that's what every night in the Big 12 is, and it's on the road in hostile environments.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.